Welcome everyone, Costin here on Serious Gaming with a quick look at Total War Rome 2, the Ancestral update, which right now is in beta. Plenty of things obviously to look at here. So they've redesigned the character system, skills, traits, intrigues that you have available with characters, so political intrigues available here, like related to cunning, authority, and zeal, obviously. Political changes that have been here for a while: Empire, Republic, politics over here, loyalty with various actions like securing loyalty or provoking, and if you do switch to an empire you can even purge a political party as well. For political parties, obviously you have your own political party and all of this, various characters here as well. So you do have a politician in Rome. You do have a general as well. I'm gonna find a wife, see the spouse, okay, and we get a marriage, which also improves obviously the political situation because she is a politician who has her own skills as well, and that obviously is quite very interesting and useful as well. So they've made quite a few changes to the political system, to the character system, and as well as graphical updates and improvements. So I'd say that's all very welcome. All these changes that they implemented are very, very welcome. Okay. Let's look at the character tree. So you have these abilities that require you to go for one of them. You have these trees that you need to unlock one at a time. So you need rank 6, okay. Agent recruitment costs, authority, civil research, plus 2%, okay. Cunning. Alright. So they've made a number of changes obviously to the game. Positive ones overall, I would say, considering the state that Rome 2 launched in. But there are certainly some issues when it comes to Rome 2, specifically when it comes to the base game, that they just can't easily fix. I would say they need to drastically improve the performance of the game if a lot of people are gonna play it. The fact is that Warhammer in particular, one of the things that Warhammer did is that it actually fixed the long-standing issue of very poor performance in the Total War series, which is not a small accomplishment there. So I'm not gonna actually rush these guys. Let's take it a bit slow. Let the Hastati get up there. So the fact that Warhammer did that, and that we haven't really seen a performance patch so far. I mean, they improved the performance of shadows with this, but they don't improve the performance overall. And obviously you still have animation issues and pathfinding issues that still exist. A lot of what makes Total War work is the battles. And the fact is that the battles could really use a substantial improvement in Rome 2. And something that we're unlikely to get. I mean, Creative Assembly can make all the campaign changes that we want. It's not gonna change the situation of their game unless they do actually bring in battle changes, performance improvements. I mean, this might seem that it's running fine, but the FPS dips are pretty significant, whereas something like Warhammer 2 you can run easily, or Thrones of Britannia, if you have that, you can run that easily at a higher and more stable frame rate. Certainly there are graphical improvements though, it shouldn't be denied. I think that the reason they care about continuously supporting this game is because there is obviously clearly has been shown to be an interest in the Roman era. And so they want to give people that without making a new game, because who knows, maybe they just feel Rome 2 is a fine product Which clearly, given the backlash, is not how a lot of people perceive it. Now, for my money, when it came down to Rome 2, my perspective on the issue was, my perspective on Rome 2 was, well, it's just basically like the previous Total Wars have been. I mean, it's not like Rome 2 broke something that wasn't already broken since Empire, truthfully speaking. I mean, many of the issues Rome 2 suffered at launch, it's not like those issues were not present in Empire or Napoleon or Shogun 2, because they were. That's just simply the fact. Like, performance issues were there, AI issues were there, campaign design was there, battle design was also there. Of course, people might have a rose-tinted view of the original Rome, but the truth is, it might have different expectations, but it's not like these things just popped out of nowhere. I'm just gonna throw these velites against the skirmishers. Okay, and throw these levies. Okay.
Hastati! Come forward! Ready and waiting! We are commanded the Lord! Ready! Engage!
Kill them flying in there.
Lilies! Cohort Parati! General!
Right, sending my general in.
Brave Romans to a man! Melee! Ready and waiting! Commander! Man quick! Ready and waiting!
Let's send
Hastati!
Alright, he's throwing his own.
General! On forward! Riders at the double! Quickly now!
And we take these guys from the back and that's basically the battle over there.
Missiles awaiting targets. Hastati!
I mean, he's still fighting.
Jupiter gives us strength. Advance and your orders.
Let's get these guys out.
Hastati! General!
These guys actually ended up taking the largest share of the casualties.
Advance!
Probably because of the way the Italian cavalry works, right?
Sons of Mars! Victory for Rome!
Right, let's go in there. Just gonna go to the battle interface and disable projectile trails. Right, and that's an easy victory, obviously. I outnumber them and I have better troops as well, so it's not like they were gonna stand a chance. The Etruscan League. But here's the problem, by the way, in particular with regards to all the redesign of the political system. I mean, the character redesign, the traits, all that, that's gonna work pretty good, right? Okay. That's gonna work pretty well. No denying that. But the issue with the changes to the political system... the issue with the changes to the political system is that it doesn't work so well for most of the factions. So you don't have something like this for every single faction in the game. Like, you have it for Carthage and Rome. I don't think anyone else has as many noble houses. And that, as you might imagine, is an issue. Because... That's an issue, of course, because... because if they're making all these changes to improve the campaign, well, the fact that they don't really apply to most of the factions in the game is a problem. I mean, obviously, you always have one opposition faction to you, but you're not gonna have as many as Rome. So the intrigue, the actual implications of the system, it's not gonna play out as it does with Rome or Carthage. It's not gonna be as interesting as it is for Rome or Carthage. And that, I feel, is one of the flaws there. I mean, they could obviously make the other factions more interesting in terms of their own political system. Will they do that? I mean, this game, I mean, they're improving things, certainly, but to really make it interesting, they would need to go for a complete redesign. Are they interested in that? Do they care about that? That's arguably the most important question over here. Does Creative Assembly actually care about that aspect?
Hold formation. Move it. Get sorted.
I don't know that they do. I really don't know if they do. There we go.
Yes, Commander. Breaking battle group. Stay as you are. By your command.
Now, one of the problems with formations in this game is that your skirmisher units, and this is something they do fix to an extent in Warhammer, your skirmishers, your cavalry obviously are faster than your heavy infantry. That creates an issue in its own right, because you obviously don't want your vulnerable units to advance faster than your infantry or heavy infantry. So you have to constantly tell them to stop or slow down, basically.
General.
Alright.
In the name of Rome.
Like, having cavalry move in that kind of position is not good at all. I'm just gonna wait for my infantry to advance, and then we're obviously gonna take them. Although in this case, actually, it was only the cavalry that overtook the infantry. It seems the skirmishers were mostly fine, so you just gotta pay attention to your cavalry. Though it seems that they were also threatening to overtake them. Slingers.
Ready for orders. Brave Romans to a man. Commander.
Let's take these guys.
Ready and waiting.
Head on.
Sons of Mars. Get here at speed. Ready. We obey. Ready. Fire on the enemy.
Slingers aren't going to do much against Astati. Here come the javelins.
Astati. Ready and waiting. Now.
I mean, I'm not surprised that they retreated.
Astati. Astati. Melee infantry. Orders. Move now. General.
Right, sending the general over there.
Astati. Jupiter gives us strength. Commander. Astati. Fit for glory.
To deal with their ranged units.
Proud Romans all. General. For glory.
Don't know how effective they're gonna be over there,
General.
but they should be able to force a surrender. Just gonna get these relatives to
General.
turn around. Man, I miss those cavalry charges in Warhammer. Those, or medieval too. Or even Rome 1. I don't think cavalry charges have been good for a while. Just the sheer impact of them, right? It's been kind of missing in action. Come on, go ahead. Alright, battle is won. So the gameplay feels like battle gameplay, more or less feels the same for all the changes, but that's mostly to make them look less of a clusterfuck than how they actually play out. I would say that Rome 2 got a lot less interesting once they quote-unquote fixed the AI, improved the balance and all that, because one of the main draws of Total War, and this has been from Rome 1, at least what I've played with the Total War series, so that's from Rome 1, one of the main draws, the most amount of fun you could get in Total War was just how could you exploit the game, basically. Like, you could win battles without losing a single unit just because of how you could exploit the terrain in, say, Medieval 2. Like, especially in certain mods, like Third Age Total War. You could win campaigns you shouldn't have had a chance of winning. You could do incredible things. I mean, I played Rome, and this is how Rome 2 also played as. I played Rome 2, and I was able to get the achievement where you have to fight every single battle on your own, no auto-resolve, and you also can't lose any single battle. Now that took an incredible amount of bullshit to achieve, an incredible amount of exploiting the game mechanics, the terrain of battles in order to actually achieve. You probably wouldn't be able to do it now because of all the changes they've made, and that's kind of the issue I have with what they've been doing with Total War. Oh, sure, they've tackled many of the long-standing complaints, but they've kind of made it dull and forgettable and just very bland of an experience. I mean, is that better? Obviously it is, because no one wants to be driven up the fucking tree because of how terrible the AI is, but at the same time, having a more forgettable experience is not exactly an improvement, and for all the changes that they've made, political system, traits, all that, that's not really gonna fix that issue with the game. I think they need to really change the way they approach things with Total War. And mind you, this applies with Warhammer 2. Warhammer 2 is incredibly bland as well. Warhammer and Warhammer 2 are incredibly bland games when you get down to it. I mean, there is a nice spectacle there, sure, absolutely. They haven't changed the army system. It's more or less the same thing as it has been before, so same traditions. I mean, they changed the character traits, they changed the political system, they changed the system of governance, political intrigue, but they didn't change the army system. I guess that shows you what their priorities are. Anyway, Costin here on Serious Gaming, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Who knows, maybe I might be interested in doing a playthrough of this, maybe not. Though I kind of feel that, as I've said, Total War has just gotten to be a very bland series. I mean, it's fun to have unpredictable shit happen. It's kind of fun. It makes things more interesting, more dynamic. I'm not saying I want to go back to what there was before. Certainly not, but I want some excitement in this series. Not just early game shenanigans and then you just march on to victory without being able to be stopped by anyone. So, stay tuned for more, and if you like the content, please subscribe and enable notifications, the bell icon, so you can see what videos I upload.